And now we get to the nitty gritty for those that are always asking you to do things that cost a ton of money in addition to your time. It's okay to ask them, will I be reimbursed for my expenses this time? Sometimes people don't realize that they're asking you not only to donate time, but your money and your efforts or your supplies. And they may not realize that you just don't have all that spare cash laying around. Or if you do, feel free to ask them, will I be given a receipt for all the expenses I incur so I can use it as a tax deduction? It helps if you start to make them aware. The next one, in the same situation, you can ask them, will I be compensated for my time? This is a good one when people call and say something that goes like this. I got this call just this week. I want to invite you to listen to this proposal that this fella is giving. I just know that you'll have good insight and that we can count on your expertise. After all, you're the money coach. Wow. Did you just ask me to give you my time and my advice for free, or did you just invite me to join your investment? I wasn't real clear on what the invitation consisted of, but I was like, really? Wow. Could you clarify that a little bit? You know, um, ask them. Can you clarify that a little bit? Are you asking for me to donate, or are you asking me to consult with you? Another thing you can always say is, I'd love to, but I really cannot. You can always be very gracious and say, thank you for asking me, but no thanks. If the situation is appropriate, you can say with sympathy, oh dear, that will never do. And say without commitment and without incriminating yourself in any way, I hope you get lots of help with that. And then change the topic really fast. You can always tell them, especially if it's true, I can't. It's my busy season. The last 3 months were my busy season. I said I can't a lot. And people took it because they had to. I had no spare time. I gave what I could, but I didn't have a lot of spare time. You can always say, it sounds like you need an expert. I'll let you know if I think of anyone. This is a really good one to use if you're constantly being asked for free advice. Are you a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, a coach, a financial advisor? If you're constantly being asked, what's your opinion? Could I just get your advice on this? You feel free to say to people, it sounds like you need an expert. I'll let you know if I think of anybody that can give you a few minutes for free. It kind of gives them the answer that you've tapped into my resource just a few times too many. You can keep it very simple and say, no thanks. Or you can ask in a humorous way, what's the thank you gift? I might do that, but what's the thank you gift? And if you're the brutally honest type, which on occasion I resemble that remark, you can say, I don't want to. I just don't. And if it's someone you really know pretty well, that's a good one. Because if you don't want to, you don't want to. And if you force yourself to do it, you know you're not going to do a good job. So why would you volunteer to do something if you know you're not going to do a good job? The ones that I do say yes to, I make sure I go do a good job. Because I said yes. That's me. I want to do a good job for the people that I'm helping. But for those that I just don't want to, I need to not take that on because there's nothing worse than doing a half-hearted, mediocre job on something that a good job is really called for, right? Ask them, we're coming to the end of our 50, by the way, we're getting there. Ask them who else they asked. And then pick one of those people and say, well, they're a really good worker. And I bet they'll be really pleased that you asked them. You should be pleased that they say yes. And you can always say, you're too kind, but I have to pass. Now, that was number 50, by the way. Now, as well as I do, if they're like many people who ask you, especially if they ask you often, they're likely to persist or insist. Sometimes they whine, or they carry on, or they ask a million questions about why you aren't available. There are two simple steps for that. First is to remain firmly unavailable. If you can only think of one thing to say, I'm not available, you may need to repeat it 3 times. And the simplest way to handle it is to avoid it. As soon as you've said your no in whatever fashion you choose, whether you use one of these suggestions or not, you need to finish the conversation, change the topic, get off the phone, whatever it is. But as soon as you've said no, you need to finish it. You don't want to be arm wrestled. You don't want to be convinced. You're not asking them to tell you more information. You're simply saying, I just can't. And in my experience, and one of the things that I kind of think of as a hot button, the thing that I truly never appreciate is the person that says, oh, that's great, I'd love to, and then they never do it. They can't figure out how to say no, so they say yes, but then they don't do it. And to me, that's much worse than just being honest on the front end and saying, I wish I could help, but I really cannot. I just can't right now. I can't take on one more thing. And any reasonable person will take that and understand it. And you don't have to say, if you only knew what was going on in my life, because you just offered to tell them what's going on in your life when you do that. So, unless you really want to tell them what's going on in your life, you can go ahead and skip that part. So, you're busy and you have things to do. So, as soon as you've said your no, thank you, I cannot, I won't, I don't want to, whatever it is that you say, you need to kind of get the conversation ended. But then what happens? Well, in my experience, they'll come back and they'll ask you for the similar favor once or twice more. But then after that, they pretty much stop trying because they're not used to being turned down. They're used to you giving in to avoid listening to them, give you the guilt trip or the whining or the complaining. But you need to reduce your own workload and your own stress load to the level that you can handle and handle well. You cannot give time, money, expertise to all comers if you want to focus on your goals, activities, and events that will enrich your life, your personal life, your business life, your work life. And then I've got one bonus one for your workplace or your boss or your sales manager, whatever the situation is. And when they come at you and there's like, here, I need you to do this. You're just the right person to do this. No problem. You may be just the right person to do it, but they may not realize that you're also overloaded at the moment. So it's okay to say to them, wow, my calendar is already full. Which task do you want me to cancel to put that one on the calendar? Because the one thing I learned After 35 or so, plus or minus, plus mostly, years of working in the corporate world, unpaid overtime or working on your home time is not truly the status symbol people want you to believe it is. It's petty thievery on the part of the corporation. So if you're not getting paid by the hour for every working hour, limit the number of hours you work to the number of hours you get paid for. And one way to do that, remove the company email from your personal phone and unfriend those that are colleagues, not friends, from your social media. It's 2 steps in the right direction. If they can't contact you on your off time, you can't be wiggled, wormed, guilt tripped, cajoled, threatened into working. And you know the ones that I mean too. You know, the ones that'll troll your social media. Oh, glad I caught you. I need this. Well, no, you didn't catch me because you're not on there anymore. Or the ones that are not really your friends, but they want to be, the ones I mean that troll your social media for snippets of gossip and then they use it at work against you. Yeah, bye bye, creepy pseudo friends. Bye. But in summary, saying no can lead to some awesome consequences. You'll have more time, less stress, a greater focus on your priorities, increased productivity, and increased self esteem. Giving yourself permission to do your stuff to the best of your ability without feeling like you didn't perform because you didn't conform is a great way to start the new year. It will help your life, your business, your job performance, your energy level, and, of course, what's important to me, your finances. So do what you're good at. Do it well. Do it with joy or enthusiasm or energy, whatever word you choose, and you will have a good life. But send me an email and let me know your thoughts. And of course, send me an email if you want the list typed up so that you can look at it and chuckle and scribble on it and add some of your own. I'd love to hear about it. It's rcmoneycoach@gmail.com. Now, you know what I'm going to say before I say it. Be grateful, and you will attract good things. Until the next time, I'm Rhonda Cobb, the Money Coach. Have a great day.